back to lesson 5 of the intermediate flute course. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all getting on alright with the with our ornamentation that we did in the first 2 lessons, and also hope you all got on okay with the first part of Mrs Galvin's jig. So today we're going to be adding some of that ornamentation that we learned in the first 2 classes into the first part of Mrs Galvin's jig. So what I'll do is I'll play the first part for you twice over, and I'll add in a few cuts and rolls into the part, and then we'll break it down slowly, and I'll show you where we can add them in and how to add them in. Okay, so the first part of Mrs Galvin's I'll play it twice through with the ornamentation. So okay, so that's the first part then, with a few cuts and rolls added in. So the first 2 bars, I'll just play it for you, and I'll show you then where we can add in the ornamentation. So the first 2 bars are so we've got 2 G cuts there. So our 2 G's there, so we're cutting in between the 2 G's, so the B, G, G and high D, G, G. So okay. That's the first so that's the first 2 bars, so that we can add those cuts in. So I'll just play the full 2 bars for you again. So that's our cuts added in. Then our 3rd and 4th bar, so we've got our A roll there at the very start. So we can add in that long A and the next A after it. So we can add in the long A and the second A, make them into one A and roll it. But then, very important, then we have to do the 3rd A after it, so we have to play that separately. So it's A roll, then A B A. So okay. So that's the first line. So we've got the the 2 cuts, the G cuts in our first and second bar, and then we've got our A roll in the for our 3rd and 4th bars. So I'll play the full line now together, nice and slow. So I'll play that again once more. Okay, that's the first line. Then the second line then. So the first 2 bars are the exact same as the first line. So as well, we can start the first line on the second bar, we can start that with a B cut. So it'll be so we still have our 2 G cuts, and we can add in the B cut at the very start. So first 2 bars in the second line, and then the last 2 bars then. So we've got our A roll again at the start. And then our 2 A's then in the 4th bar. We can cut those as well. So it's. So we're cutting again with the top finger there. So. So we've got the A roll there to start again. And the A cut there. So basically you're cutting, if you have 2 notes together, it's a really good spot to cut them notes, because it gives you the time to cut in between them. So that's the 3rd and 4th bar then. So the second line then, the full second line, we'll do it again. We'll play the full line. So we've got the B cut at the start, then our 2 G cuts in the 2nd and 3rd bar, and then we've got our A roll in the 3rd bar, and then we've got our A cut in the 4th bar. So I'll play that for you. Okay, so that's the second line. So what we'll do is we'll play the full part now over with the ornamentation. Now, you don't have to add in the ornamentation every time. You can leave it out maybe the first time you play the tune and add maybe something in the second time, or you could add in maybe where we've got the 2 G's cuts there and one after another. You could do maybe a G cut, the B G cut, and then leave out the cut for the high D G G, and then you could do vice versa maybe the second time around. So I'm just going through places where we can put in the ornamentation, but there's nothing to say that you have to put that in every time you play the part of the tune. So we'll play the full tune, full first part now, and I'll add in all the ornamentation, and you can play along with me. So we'll count in on 2, okay? So 1, 2. Okay, now you'll see there as well that I left out some of the ornamentation there because I was taking breaths. So there's great place to take a breath is after a long note. So instead of doing the long note, you can do a short note and take a breath after. So there's no need to do ornamentation every time, and you're not going to be able to anyway every time, because you're going to have to take a breath here and there. So that's the ornamentation then done for the first part of Mrs Galvin's jig. So make sure and keep up the practice, and I'll see you all in the next lesson, where we'll be moving on to the second part of Mrs Galvin's jig, and we'll be learning the second part in the next lesson. Okay, so keep up the practice, and we'll chat to you all then. So thanks very much.